Hey there, Tiffany Thomas with WealthyTiffany.com, and in today's video we're going to be talking about what you should be doing with your money if you are a college student or have recently graduated from high school and have a newer job and a little bit of money saved up. And this is actually part 3 in a 4-part video series, so if you haven't checked out video 1 or video 2, I'm going to leave the links below. You can check those videos out and then come back to this one. All right, before we dive in, if you are ready for financial freedom right now, comment freedom below in the comments or give me some other random comment to help out the YouTube algorithm to get this video out to more people. All right, let's dive in and talk about what we should be doing with our money. And since this is video number 3 in the 4-part video series, we've already talked about setting up an emergency fund and investing your money and where to invest your money. And now we're kind of getting more into the spending side of things. And the largest expense that people usually have is on housing. And that's what I want to talk about today, because this has made such a difference in my life that I want to share some details with you guys so that you can really lower this expense. And I wish I would have started what I had been doing even earlier. You really want to keep your housing expense as low as possible because it's basically your highest expense. Unless you're living with your parents, which is great. That's actually what I did while I went to college. So if you're doing that, you're probably saving a lot of money that way. I just want to present maybe another opportunity for you. And this has been called house hacking by a lot of people. I didn't actually know that's what it was called when I was doing it. But essentially, it is living with other people. There's a couple different ways that you can do this. So let me talk about the first way, which I didn't actually utilize because I didn't really know it was possible or kind of even think about this, I guess. But there are properties out there for rent. There are houses with multiple bedrooms in them that are out there for rent. And I've heard of other people doing this. So they find these properties that are for rent and they move into them, and then they find roommates to move in with that person. And they actually charge a little bit more than what the original rent amount is. For example, if there is a property that you have found that is $1,000 in rent per month, and it has 4 bedrooms, and you decide to take over that lease, and you can have people move in. You want to make sure that it is okay in the lease agreement to have other people move in with you. But what you can do is charge them more rent so that you are living there free or for a lower amount. If the rent is $1,000 a month and you have 3 girls move in and you charge them each $500 a month, then that's $1,500. So you don't even have to pay anything and you're making extra money because you're getting a total of $1,500 versus the $1,000 that you're paying. So that is one option. And of course, you have the liability of making sure that you have people that are living with you and you're able to pay that rent. But if you think about it, if you are finding a place by the college where you are attending, there's going to be other students that are going to need housing in that area. So it should be fairly easy to find people to move in with you. So that is just one option where you don't have to have any money up front really, and you just have to do the work in finding the roommates to live with you and making sure that the price is reasonable. You don't want it to be astronomically high and have no one moving in. But that is just one way to house hack and earn a little bit of extra money and not pay anything in rent. Or, if that rent is too high, you could maybe charge, a little bit less, maybe break even, or even pay less than what you're paying now in rent. So be open to that possibility of living with roommates. I have lived with roommates since I've moved out of my parents' house, which has been a really, really long time, over 15 years. And I have had really good experiences with my roommates. And the ones that weren't so great weren't even that bad. Really consider that. And especially where you are young and you'll probably be on campus most of the time studying or going to classes. You probably won't be home that much or going out with your friends, whatever. It could be a very good option. And then the second way to house hack is actually to find a place to purchase. And you don't really need a huge, large down payment. A lot of people think you need 20% down to buy a house, but that's not true. You can have 5%, maybe even 3%, depending on your lender. So you really don't need a ton of money. If you have money saved up, then this could be a really good investment for you. And of course, I do get that that is a very big investment and it can be scary, but here's what I've learned over time. I have invested in real estate for quite a while, and it has been one of the best things that I have done. I wish I would have bought more properties earlier because it's been so beneficial. It creates that passive income for me every month. I have cash flow coming in every month from my rental properties. And had I have known what I know now, I would have bought more. And this is how I would have done it, because I am still single, and most likely you're single as well. What you can do is buy a property and put that 3% down, live in the property for a year, get roommates in, and once you've lived there for a year, you can buy another property. Just replace you in that one, buy another property and move into it and pay that 3% down again, get roommates, and then wait a year, move out, and do it again and again and again. I have a friend who has done this multiple times, and he has been very successful with it. I did that with my first property, and then I moved into another property, so I wouldn't have to put as much down. If you buy it just as a rental investment, you're going to need that 20% down. So it's quite a bit more money. But if you are actually moving into the property, it's going to be your primary residence, you don't have to have that 20% down. You can put down that 3%, which isn't that much money. And doing this while you are young and healthy and able to move and you don't have that much stuff, it makes it a lot easier. And doing this while you are young, you are single, you're not moving a whole family with you, you don't have a lot of stuff accumulated yet, and it's just a lot easier. You're more flexible when you are younger, and it can be a great way to start creating some extra income for you, start creating that cash flow, and you can do it again and again and again. It is a really great strategy to help you retire early, honestly. That's how I achieved lean financial freedom. And, yes, I did invest in the stock market. Yes, I pulled some of that out and put it down toward a down payment on my property. But honestly, creating that cash flow from the properties that I have has really made the biggest difference. So if you have any interest in real estate, I would highly recommend doing this strategy and do it as soon as possible, because over time, real estate's going to go up. And sure, it's going to take a dip. And yes, in 2008, it took a huge dip. But honestly, it'll continue to go up over time. So if you have a long-term mindset, you have a long-term strategy, then you can buy and hold these properties. You can buy that first property, move into it, get your roommates, and then buy your second property and just keep that first property and continue to do that over and over, and just keep a hold of your properties. You're not worrying about fixing them up and flipping them and trying to sell them right away. You are just holding them. Make sure they are good properties that you want to hold for the long term, and it can be a really successful strategy. And since housing is the highest expense for most people, this is going to save you a lot of money, and you can invest that money in more real estate or in the stock market. And if you have questions about getting roommates, where to find them, contracts, things like that, I have a bunch of videos about that. So just do a search on my channel and you can find those videos about where to select your roommates and how that process kind of works. All right, hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, please hit the like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can get this content out to more people. And you guys, if you have ideas about content you would like me to create for you, please put that in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks!